Starting off in the polytunnel, you can see some things have already gone to seed. This is a massive turnip fail, so I'm going to pull all of these out, and these that have gone to seed here were mustards, greens, so I'm going to get tidied up in here while I still can. Probably replace some of the turnips with peppers, and I think if you look at this beauty that we're ready to harvest, some of this broccoli, it's stromboni. I've never grown this before, but if this gets left any longer, it's going to go to seed, and so we can incorporate that into tea tonight. This was overwintered, and there's a few little baby ones coming as well. This is the first broccoli I've been successful at growing, so this is an absolute achievement. Awesome. Right, time to get on, get these turnips out, and we'll get these replaced with a couple of peppers that are ready to go in. That's looking a lot better now. Sorry, you're wobbling all over. There's just a little bit of a space there, so I'm just going to put two pepper plants in, I think. Let's have a look at that. There we go. Pepper number one, pepper number two, with a bit of an eaten leaf. Hopefully that'll be okay. So the ground's nicely cleared out, and then we've got a few lettuce in there. Excuse Mr. Cockerel. And what I'm doing now is just working my way along these tomatoes. So every tomato's got a string that goes all the way up to a connection at the top there, and I'm just tying them up a little bit just to give them a little bit of strength, not tightly, but you can see this guy here just needs a little bit of help to stand upright, and I'll just be giving them a bit of a health check as I'm going along. Any leaves that I'm finding that have got any bad bits on them, I'm just whipping them off, because that just attracts pests. This tomato plant will be just fine as long as it's left with these top ones. And look, hello Mr. Tomatoes, a couple on that one coming up here. I'm also just taking any leaves like this off. So this is the beetroot that I multi-sowed. Can you see that? I'm not a fan of multi-sowing. I tried it. Charles Dowden recommended it. I thought it would be fantastic, but they're just not they're just not thriving. So probably get these beetroot out and put more peppers in here. I do have a couple left, and you can see some of the lettuce that are starting to bolt a little bit too. These actually taste fine still, they're not bitter, so I'll keep harvesting those, but as I need the space, I'll just be whipping out some of these salads and using it for the last of the peppers, and maybe a couple of tomatoes at the back, we'll see. So after just saying that I don't like multi-sowing, I think this is a beetroot chogia, is that how you say it? I've got some here that I'm just checking on as I'm doing the tomatoes, and they are looking quite good actually. So I'm doing what Charles Dowden recommends and just twisting out the big ones, leaving the smaller ones there to grow on. So I'll show you what we're dealing with now, and I guess I'm going to have to think of something to do with these guys pretty soon. This is the spot where it came from, so you can see the hole there, and there's a couple of others there, and I haven't looked. So there's some more doing okay. Okay, I might be able to get a harvest of a couple out of here. Let me take a look. Well, I've got three, what I class as, I don't know, they're bigger than golf balls, but smaller than tennis balls. So I'm pleased with that. So I'm looking forward to cutting these up actually, because they're supposed to be a sort of pink and white inside, if I remember rightly. I think they're stripy, these ones. We'll soon see. And I think that's the variety, because it's not bolt hardy and it's not the yellow ones that I've sown. So process of elimination, I think it's the chogia. So I'm going to keep working my way down for these tomatoes. Some of them are doing well. Some of them got bit by the frost, and they didn't die, and they're not thriving. So they're somewhere in between. So I'm hoping that they'll pick up. It's quite shady in this polytunnel, which you wouldn't have thought so for the last few days because it has been so hot. But today, with the temperature being a bit cooler, I'm able to get in here and get this work done. So I'm going to quickly get the rest of this done. Have a little look at these salads behind me. I've already whipped a few out, and if there's any spaces turn up, I'm going to throw some more peppers in too. So I'll keep going and I'll check back with you soon. I know somebody who's going to really appreciate all of these scraps. I'm going to take these to the chickens, water the polytunnel, give you a quick look around, and then it's time to get some seeds in. There's some happy customers. That's all watered, so let me start at the back of the polytunnel. Forgive the mess of the polytunnel. I think we're in desperate need of a new one now. It's starting to drop to bits. The door doesn't close because the zips broke, and we've had to bolt the windows closed, which is why they're not open. But pretty much we're leaving the door open all the time now. It just saves with the zip, and also because the weather's been so nice. It's super windy today though, so if you hear some flapping, sorry about that. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you from the back to the front of what we've got going on in here. So you can see we've got a pepper plant, then we've got these are beetroots, a couple of cucumbers here. At the back we've got some tomatillos, green and purple, can't remember which way around they are. Tomatoes are up these strings that I've already talked to you about, some lettuce, more peppers, and then more lettuce and peppers here. On the left hand side at the back we've got a similar story, so we've got the tomatoes. That one's actually fell over a little bit despite being tied up. Pepper right in the back that seems to have, I don't know if it's slug damage or if it's those awful aphids, but something's getting to them. And more beetroot, so these are Pablo, so that's an F1 variety. More tomatoes. These are the beetroot, the chogia that I've already taken out, that I'll show you what they look like inside at some point. I'm moving along. This takes us back to the broccoli that we've already looked at, but there's 3 plants in there. Should probably have only put 2 in, but you know what it's like when you put these tiny little plants in and you think, oh, I know, I can get away with that. These are cabbages that I put in during, well, late last year, so they're coming on, and we're just taking the leaves off the outsides. I'm not waiting for them to heart up, but to be fair, this guy here is starting to heart up quite nicely. And then more salads. So these guys, as I say, we can still eat off them, but time for them to come out soon, I think. And those beetroot that I also mentioned, those are bolt hardy. The ones that I'm not too keen on multi-sowing on the bolt hardy haven't turned out as well as those are the Pablo ones. And another pepper, some more tomatillos here, and then courgettes in both corners. There you go. And these are the peppers that we've just put in today. So I'm seeing space, so I probably want to fill it, but probably I should hang fire. We'll see. Anyway, that's the polytunnel. And now I'm going to start getting some seeds in, because it's that time of year when you are starting to harvest bits and pieces. On a normal year you've probably harvested a lot more than we have this year, and you tend to forget about later on in the year, and you know, a successional sowing and getting everything in that we've already maybe already planted. This might be the second or even third sowing of something, so peas, your beetroot, things like that. So I'm going to sit, if the weather allows me, outside my shed, and I'm going to get some more seeds in. Some of them might be the first sowing, so beans and things like that is still fine to, still absolutely fine to sow in June. So I'll do a separate video on all of the seeds that I'm putting in June, but I'll just quickly show you some of the ones that I'm going to get in this afternoon. And that's me done in the polytunnel. Actually, I've changed my mind. I do need to get more seeds in, and soon, so that'll probably be the weekend. It's Thursday today and I've got a day off. I'm sorry if you can't hear me because of the wind. But more importantly, I do have some plants or seedlings that are ready to be potted on or to go into the ground. I don't have space just at the minute for them to go in the ground, so I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of time and sit down and pot those on. So I've got some Here's one I prepared earlier. So I've got some kale and some perpetual spinach and some Rubino spinach, which is actually bolted already, so they're going straight into the chickens. But the other ones are ready to go into pot, so I'm going to do that. And then when I do have space, when the onions come out or the potatoes come up, that kind of thing, these guys will be fit and healthy to go straight in and might stand a bit more of a chance against slugs and pigeons and everything else that we get around here. So I'm going to do a bit of that, and then I'm going to close this vlog out. So these are matador spinach, and those at the back are perpetual. So I started some of those yesterday, which is why I've just given them a light watering, but these guys were dry as sticks because the compost has been out in the sun, and it has been like mid-20s every day here, sorry, for the past few weeks. I've got a couple of kale and some other bits and pieces to get potted on. So that's it for today. I can't wait to see how these guys get on. I love spinach so much. Okay, so that's it from me for today. A little update of what's going on in the polytunnel and just a little bit of insight into what we're potting on. And I'm going to do a follow-up with the seed video. They want to be in the picture as well. I'm going to do a follow-up with the seed video to start thinking about the rest of the year and early into next year, so we make sure that we've got food all year round, because that's the aim here on the Smallholding, to be able to provide for ourselves all year round. And for now, I'm going to continue sat here, my little desk, my outdoor working area, and get these finished and see how I get on. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like so that YouTube knows that you're enjoying our content and promotes it to other people. That would really help us. For now, take care. Talk to you later.